Oh, there's one thing I wanted to show you. So right down here in the passenger, the shotgun, there are ports for should be careful, but kind of pull it out. So there are ports back here where a bunch of cables go in, and I don't know, but one of these could be the one of these wires, or well, technically 4 of the wires, could be the speaker wire that you can tap into. And so instead of having to take the whole dash console radio apart, all you have to do is find the colors down here. You can test it with like a multimeter or whatever, I don't know, and maybe tap into one of these guys. So hopefully that helps you, but yeah. All right, so I'm going to install an amp and a subwoofer into my 2015 Chevy Cruze LT. It's outfitted with the 7 speaker system right now. There's one in the center, and there's 2 tweeters, 2 front speakers for the doors, and then a set for the speakers in these back doors. There's places in the back deck for them to go, for 6x9 speakers to go, but I don't have 6x9 speakers, but I can always add those in later if I want, because I have a 4-channel amp that I'm putting in, but right now it'll just be hooked up, bridged to 1 speaker. But yeah, I'm going to show you along with the process and how I've done it, what I've seen from others doing it, and hope that you will learn something from this video. Alright, so first things first, you gotta take off the negative of the battery. Mine happens to be 10mm, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. Now I can take out the main compartments. Right in there. Alright, so I've got this little spudger. Probably not the best to use. I need like a little bit bigger, more designs for specifically for like car doors and whatnot. But I can go in and try to pry this thing out, see what I can do. Alright, so that part was pretty easy. It just came straight out. There's clips are fairly easy to unclip. You just, you know, somehow get underneath the edges and pry it up. Now I'm gonna get this thing up. Yep. Alright, so I got this piece out. It was easiest just to pry from the bottom right here. Pry up and then just go along the edges. There's a clip back here that you need to focus on more. And then these clips were a little bit difficult, but I got a fairly stiff poker to poke down into this little hole to stop, to keep the stopper from keeping it from going out. And then I just disconnected this part from here, so I didn't have to disconnect that large part because it was pretty difficult. I don't know how to do it. So now we're moving on to these bolts. I was able to get this out. There's a connector that goes in the middle, and it took forever to get out. First you have to lift this blue tab up, and then that allows this little tab right here to go in. So, but yeah, and then you can try to pry it out. But now I need to try to get this black piece out, which is a little bit more difficult, I think. I think there's like clips back here that I need to get to. We'll see. All right, I was able to get this out. It took me a while, but really all you have to do is, these tabs have metal pieces on the side. All you have to do is yank it out firmly. It's pretty tough, but you can do it and you shouldn't break anything. So that's good. Now I'm going to take off this front piece and then take out the stereo, and look what we have. All right, top was super easy to come off. Just had a couple of clips. So after you take the bolts out, you just kind of pull it from the bottom and just maneuver the way from the clips. Super easy to come out. Nothing should break. We got 2 connectors on the back. That's super easy to remove. All right, we got the stereo here. Just take it out, and can't see very well. Let me disconnect everything and okay, doesn't look like it has RCA or anything like that, so I'll have to take it out and splice some stuff in. Okay, so I looked up online the wiring schematic, the best I could for the Chevy Cruze 2015 LT, because that's what I have. And I'm trusting my gut with also what the guide is saying. Right here it says that the, fell down. But the rear bright is white and dark blue and black. And then the rear left is dark green, black, which each of those cables to the right, these 2. So I'm going to splice in something called a pack, which I'll show you in just a second. It is this, and this allows me to connect to rear left, rear right, and to output to our, wow. My mind is blanking, but it allows you to output into a different format, so you can run it to the back of your car much easier than running like 4 cables all the way from here down. But yeah, this is easier. It was like 15-20 bucks. It'll make it a little bit easier to run with just a single cable all the way back to the back of the car. So I'm going to splice these into these wires right here and hope for the best. Alright, so in this case, this pack, the SNI-35, the 2 grays are for the right and the 2 whites are for the left. These are ground, and I don't know if you connect them. I'll tell you if they do need to be connected to something other than themselves, which they already are. But yeah, so I'm going to tap into these wires with these and then try to maybe solder them if I can. Otherwise I'll just do a military splice and then wrap it in electrical tape. You always want to wrap stuff in electrical tape if you can. I don't know if I'll be able to do a big like heat shrink tubing because there's no way to really put it on. So yeah, electrical tape will probably be best. Okay, so I've kind of spliced it in, and now I'm going to do it to 3 other wires, and then I'm going to stick the pack probably somewhere back here where I can still access these level adjusters that it has on it. Pretty cool. But yeah, I'll probably put it back somewhere like down here. It seems to fit pretty well, and there's nothing that it should block, so I'm going to do that. Alright, so this is the job I did. I individually wrapped, spliced and wrapped these pack wires onto the rear speaker wires, and then I electrically taped the entire sleeve back on. It's not terrible. I would say that's pretty decent for my first time doing this. I haven't really even seen anybody do this or whatnot. I've just seen like wires being spliced, but not like this whole process being done. So I'm super excited to see how it turns out. So let me put the pack. I need to electrically wrap this part, the ground wires, and then I'm going to put the pack back here enough so I can still access the RCA ports and run them through back around on the right side. Sorry, it's a bit dirty down there. And then I'm going to hook everything back up right here and make sure it all works. All right, so it's been about a week since I've tapped into the console and the radio. And what I did is I hooked up the RCA cables and I ran it behind here. Luckily there's kind of like a slot down here that you can just kind of feed the RCA cables down to the back. It's a little bit difficult, but you'll find it. And then I feed it around the trim, like what I have right here. This remote, this is the bass knob wire, not remote wire. And I took the RCA cable as well, and you just kind of stuff it underneath the trim so that it's super easy to get to when you want to get to it. So yeah, you do that throughout the whole vehicle, going back around. And I went just beneath here, and the seats can go down. And so I brought it down and I feed it right behind the seats. And did the same thing for the power wire. You can see power wire right there. I drilled a hole into the firewall of the car, and I routed the power wire the same exact way that I did the RCA cables and remote wire. I just stick it under the trim like that and feed it to the back. And I'll show you the back in just a minute. But then I also did the remote wire, and I tapped into a fuse that is only on during the when the car keys turned on, which is really good because you don't want to waste your battery just powering a random amp sitting around. So let's show you the hood. So I took the power wire. Let's see, can't really see it because it's okay. So if you look in the middle right there, I fed it through and I covered it with the kind of that black wrapping that came with the amp install kit, and I ran it underneath here and up through here down to this fuse, which connected on both sides and drilled to the bottom of this battery placement. There's nothing beneath there, so it's a pretty good place because it's just plastic and should be good to go. But then I routed the other one back up here to the positive terminal and just hooked it in like so. Just kind of have that the ring, I don't know what you call it, the terminal connected to the wire right there. So that's the front. This took a little bit of time because I was trying to figure out how I wanted to route the cable, but I figured that out and I got it situated. Yeah, I ran the cable down. This is my sub. I need to still install it on the back, so I'll actually have to open up the back. And so this is what this install looks like right now. So I have the RCA cables going behind this little lip back here, because this that's part of the floor, and you can just kind of lift it up, kind of move it around back to shove out all the cables underneath there. Around the RCA cables, so see all those cables right over there, RCA cables, the blue ones, added them behind the amp, which I have here, and hooked it up. And then I also ran the bass knob remote control to behind these. And then I put the power wire and ground wire and speaker wire over there, and kind of just fed everything through to underneath, and then everything was good to go. So how I have the amp installed, I just cut 2 pieces a little bit wider than the amp. I screwed them in to the board, and then I just screwed the wood into the carpet material, so it's not connected to the car at all. It's just on the whatever you call that, the fabric. But yeah, that's how I have everything set up. Hopefully you can learn something. It's really not that difficult. Have fun with your installs. Thanks for watching. Give it a like, subscribe, do whatever. Have a great day, and we'll see you guys next time.